Hey, this is Steven Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum vs. Raw. This is from September 6th, 2021. I joked online that watching Raw after watching that AEW pay-per-view All Out last night was like eating a Waffle House steak the night after you were at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. But in reality, this Raw, at least there was kind of a continuity to it. That Tag Team Turmoil thing that they split up the show with definitely worked. Having 20 minutes of talking to set it all up was pretty awful. I'll spare you, but it was just a lot of people and a lot of teams who thought they should be in this thing. There was no rhyme or reason to the Order of the Gauntlet, which also bothered me, though it did culminate with Bobby Lashley and MVP, I guess because they got a title shot last week and lost clean, so why shouldn't they be the last ones in the gauntlet? What? Then it was the former champions, second to last, but everything else was completely nonsensical. New Day's held that title, my God, more than anybody, so you'd think they'd be higher up, but they wanted to give them a good run, which I get as well. Yeah, so we get the New Day versus the Viking Raiders to start. The match is solid enough and good. At the end of the day, the New Day managed to win it. Okay. Then we get Lucha House Party, who get eliminated. And then we have T-Bar and Mace. They go to commercial and then they come back. T-Bar and Mace do their thing. They really put the beat down on the New Day, but they end up losing as well with a roll-up. And then they beat the New Day down some more, poor guys. So then they announce at this point that MVP and Lashley have been added to the match. What? God, why did they do everything in such a shitty way? They just do. So we got a number one contenders match between Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Those guys beat the hell out of each other like they always do, and at the end, Drew wins. So apparently he'll take on Damian Priest, the U.S. champion, at Extreme Rules. Okay. And Damian Priest gets a good promo in here, right? Or, I'm sorry, Sheamus won, yeah, with a handful of tights. And then Sheamus, but Damian Priest says he has his number. Okay. Sheriff Schreiber stops Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash backstage. They have some really uncomfortable exchanges that are supposed to be funny. They aren't. So we get the championship contenders match, which is, I guess, what we call a non-title match now. That's another weird WWE-ism, I'm sure. Natalya and Tamina Snuka, who are the women's tag champs, against Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash. And at the end of this, they get the win in pretty handy fashion. So Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley beat your champions, so they're the new number one contenders. Okay, we get John Morrison in a ring for a pre-recorded edition. And he's got Karrion Kross there wearing a suit. It's terrible. Then we get a match between the two, Karrion Kross and John Morrison. And Karrion Kross wins in the We Gotta Make It Up to Him tour. And John Morrison, after a month of really good work with various people, is now an afterthought. And this face push of John Morrison, where he hasn't won since turning face, is what it is. Video package on Nia Jax. We get Nia Jax versus Charlotte Flair. A bunch of shenanigans happen. Shayna Baszler basically costs Nia the win. Okay, and then Lily and Alexa Bliss are part of a promo on the screen against Charlotte Flair. And they get in some digs on each other, especially Alexa Bliss, and that's that. WWE 24/7 title match, Akira Tozawa against Reggie. It's a good showing for Reggie. The title's really silly, but then Reggie pins Akira Tozawa, ducks, dodge, dive, dip, and dodges R-Truth, and then does a great over-the-top rope twisting senton to take everybody else out. Really great stuff here. As much as I hate it, I gotta, say at least it did well. and looked good. It's sad to see Jeff Hardy as part of that crew that gets wiped out, but this is what goes on. We see what happened between Eva Marie and Doudrop last week, and Eva Marie isn't there tonight. Doudrop Evolution is going to happen next week. All right, New Day against Mansoor and Mustafa Ali. New Day managed to win. Then they run into AJ Styles and Omos and finally succumb. Omos looking very dominant, of course. And then AJ Styles and Omos lose against MVP and Bobby Lashley when Bobby Lashley isolates AJ Styles and hits him with a spear, while Omos is also wiping out Riddle and all kinds of shenanigans is happening. Omos is not happy about losing, so he drops with the falling tree slam on Bobby Lashley, and then Bobby Lashley gets hit with the RKO. And that's the end of the show. Oof. Boy. So Raw with some continuity, and we'll have a tag match next week, and apparently Doudrop Evolution, and yeah.